What's going on YouTube? GSN right here. So in today's video I have great news for those of you waiting for jailbreaking on iOS 11.4.1, iOS 11.4 and iOS 12. New exploits have been released and these are very good exploits for both iOS 12 and iOS 11.4.1 and of course for iOS 11.4 as well. This video is brought to you by Tenorshare and their software iCare Phone, which allows you to backup easier than with iTunes and fix your device if it's broken with the built-in iOS system repair. Check the program out in the link below. So just a few hours ago, this Twitter account in here, Externalist, has posted, quote, Kudima submitted another WebKit RCE, which is remote code execution exploit, to the repository. He wrote the entire exploit along with a very detailed annotation which works up to iOS 12.0.1. Thanks again, BeggarDD, for the contribution. And as you can see, a fellow Twitter user in here has tagged me to see this, so thank you a lot, Kirito1337 or Kirito Leet. So if you go ahead on the link in there, it's pretty much a WebKit exploit, and if you open the index file in here, which is pretty much just an HTML file, that's how you trigger Safari exploits, it pretty much gives you a lot of information and it tells you that it works up to iOS 12.1. So yeah, if you take a look in here, it says, quote, the exploit targets Safari on iOS up to 12.1. It achieves arbitrary read-write within the web core process. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure, but this exploit might as well be very useful for jailbreaking in the future from Safari, which of course, if used, it will pretty much destroy the need for any IPA file or for any application being deployed from whatever signing services. You just go to a website, press in there on jailbreak, and you would be good to go. Just like the Jailbreak Me or the Pango jailbreak that is available from the WebKit. So pretty hefty exploit, especially since it works on iOS 12, which also means that it might as well work on iOS 11.4.1 and iOS 11.4, so definitely a good one there. But also for the iOS 11.4.1 and iOS 11.4 Folk, there is this one in here which has also been posted just a few hours ago on GitHub. It says, quote, PoC, which is proof of concept, for the iOS 11.4.1 and macOS 10.13 kernel vulnerability in lio-list.io. So it's pretty much a C file containing the proof of concept itself, which also has a write-up in here on Synactive, and it says, quote, Lightspeed arrays for an iOS or macOS Sandbox escape. And if you take a look here on the TLDR, or too long didn't read, it says, quote, disclosure for an iOS 11.4.1 kernel vulnerability in lio-list.io and PoC or proof of concept to panic. And if you go ahead and read this, it explains quite a lot on how this works and where is the vulnerability and exactly what is being triggered. It's a pretty good write-up in here and definitely worth reading. But there is a piece of information in here that's probably interesting you if you are into jailbreaking. It says, quote, because the list.io lio syscall is reachable from any sandbox and given the potentially interesting primitives offered by the vulnerability, Lightspeed may be used to jailbreak iOS 11.4.1. However, this blog post will solely explain the vulnerability and provide a code to trigger it to crash the kernel. Sorry, jailbreak ATA folks, the jailbreak will have to wait. So although they're not going to provide a jailbreak from this vulnerability themselves, anybody with exploit knowledge can definitely take this one up and weaponize it into a jailbreak with no problem, because it's definitely capable of that. So definitely a very good exploit for the iOS 11.4.1. Finally, everything is moving. As you can see, we're getting quite a lot of exploit releases lately, and that's due to the fact that most of the times the security researchers that do find vulnerabilities and disclose them to Apple, which is called responsible disclosure, have to wait for a number of days, and that's usually 90 days before they can make the exploit available for the general public or before they can make a public write-up about it. So that's the reason we don't get exploits straight away, and usually it takes a while. And once that deadline is pretty much reached, they are able to release their exploits and to make write-ups about them and to pretty much document them and so on. And this is what happens in here. We start to see a lot of exploits for the iOS 11.4, iOS 11.4.1, and iOS 12, which is definitely great. For those of you who do not know, iOS 12.1 is currently signed, but also iOS 12.0.1. If I was to choose, I would stay on iOS 12.0.1 for the moment, because iOS 12.1, according to Umang, a security researcher in the community who helped with the Electra, iOS 12.1 is currently not recommended. However, iOS 12.0.1 is pretty much the same as iOS 12.0 in terms of security. So if you want to stay on something, stay on iOS 12.0.1. 11.4.1. If you're already running iOS 11.4.1 or 11.4 and you haven't updated, do not update yet. You're safe on iOS 11.4.1 or iOS 11.4 for the moment. So yeah, as you can see, quite a lot of vulnerabilities lately, and a lot of them can be used for jailbreaking. So at this point, with so many vulnerabilities, the game is pretty much afoot, and I think it's just a matter of time before we see a full jailbreak for the iOS 11.4.1 or for the 12. I will keep you updated on the channel, so don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching, I'm GeoSnow, and till the next time, peace out.